All right, welcome back to the challenge. Let's get right to it today. Begin in child's pose. So take a moment to just incorporate a little of what you learned in yesterday's breath practice. As you let yourself start to settle, tune into the inner landscape, start to feel how the breath is moving. And then start to do a little bit of controlled breathing. You can start to integrate the Ujjayi breath to help to open up your ribs. And just feel how powerful that breath technique is. Then come up onto your hands and your knees and stretch back into downward facing dog. Then walk your feet forward up to the front of your mat. And in this first forward fold, give your knees a generous bend. Let the back of your head drop. Then bring your hands onto your hips, press down into your feet and come right up to stand. Bring your feet close together and let's prepare for tree pose. Bring your right heel up onto the inside of your left thigh. Once you're steady, join your palms together. Stay as even as you can on your left foot. Draw from your left thigh up, and then take your arms up. Good, then bring your arms back down and lower your leg down. Change legs, bring your left heel up onto the inside of your right thigh. Join your palms together. And once you're steady, raise your arms up. Then bring your arms back down and lower your leg down. All right, now turn to your right and separate your legs wide apart. So we're going to start with the standing poses today and just feel what that does for our practice. If you have maybe more energy to focus on the poses, or if you feel tighter because you haven't done the sun salutations, we'll just feel what that's like. So spread your arms out to the side, turn your left toes in a little bit and turn your right leg all the way out. Then bend your right knee for warrior two. Then from warrior two, set your forearm down onto your thigh and reach your left arm all the way over. And hold there for 5 breaths. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Straighten your right leg and turn your feet to the other side. Then bend your left knee. Warrior two, hold there. And extended side angle. Put your forearm onto your thigh. Reach your right arm all the way over. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Turn your left toes in so your feet are parallel now. Stand tall. All right, then step your feet together. Stand in mountain. And then go wide again. Take your legs wide and spread your arms out. Turn your left toes in a little. Turn your right leg all the way out. Now bend your right knee. We're going to try to do extended side angle, but instead of going onto the thigh now, we'll see if you can bring the hands onto the outside of the foot onto a block. And then take your left arm over. If it feels like you're sinking or that your spine is rounding over to get your hand down onto the block, then you'd be better off with the forearm onto the thigh. But But if you start to develop the flexibility to be able to put the hand down a little bit lower, then why not? See if you could do that. Lift from your belly, inhale, come back up. Turn your feet to the other side. Bend your left knee and put your hand down. Good, then inhale, come back up. And straighten your leg. Now step up to the front of your mat. All right, inhale, raise your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen out. Step back one leg at a time into plank pose. Come into plank on your forearm, set one elbow down and then the other. Roll onto the outside edge of your left foot, take your right arm up. Side plank on your left forearm, angle that left forearm in a little bit to protect your shoulder. So it's not so much pull onto the shoulder. Turn your right hip forward up on top of your left and lean your head back in alignment with your spine. Then change sides, right elbow down, left arm up. Balance your left hip right up on top. Good, then come back to plank on your forearms, hold there. This is gonna get kind of challenging now. Are you ready? Raise your right leg up an inch. Now without your hips twisting, turn your right big toe out and bring your leg up like a tree pose leg. Hold there, stretch the leg back, change legs. Good, stretch it back, and then set your hips down for Sphinx pose. Open up your chest, spread across your collarbones, and lift up from your belly so that you're not sinking into your lower back. Then lower your chest back down onto the mat, and press into up dog. Inhale, roll your chest through. Down dog, stretch back. Good, from down dog, step your right foot up for warrior one. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, downward facing dog, stretch back. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, downward facing dog, stretch back. Look in between your hands, step or hop up to the top of your mat. Inhale, Ardha, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Press down into your feet, inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Now cross your right ankle just above your left knee, and with your palms together, start to turn your right thigh out as you stand tall. Then keeping the spine tall, start to sit your hips back like you're sitting in a chair pose. Good. See if you can sit the hips back a little bit deeper and then tip from your pelvis to maybe bring your forearms down onto your thigh. Shin. What's that thing called? That's a shin. Then once the elbows press down, reach your heart forward. If you feel like you can stretch a little bit deeper, maybe even put the hands down onto the floor and let the head drop. Good, then release that and come all the way back up to stand. All right. Change sides, bring your left heel up, palms together, and then start to sit back. Tip from your pelvis to lean out over your leg. And maybe even bring your elbows down onto your shin. Once the elbows hook, reach your heart forward, get length. Maybe even put the hands down. And come all the way back up to stand. Mountain pose. Okay. Next we're going to work on our squat. So take your feet outer hips distance apart and turn your toes out just a little bit. Fold forward, set your fingertips down, and then start to lower your buttocks down towards your heels without the heels lifting. Good. So this requires a lot of ankle mobility. If it's difficult for your heels want to come up, then you can practice this stretch with your feet up on maybe like a rolled towel or something, or eventually a block with your toes up on the block and your back against the wall. And that'll help to open up the ankles so that it gets as much movement as it needs to be able to go into a deep squat. But if it's coming well already, you don't need to do that. But that's a great way to help to open it up. Okay, then from here, it's crow pose time. Are you ready? Put your hands down on the mat. See if you can hook your knees into your outer upper arms and then lean into your crow. So in crow, the collarbones, tops of the blades stay wide. Use your bandhas, lift from your pelvic floor, lift your belly. Good. 2 more breaths if you can. Okay, now lift yourself up into a handstand. No, okay. Okay, set your feet down and fold forward, Uttanasana. Great job. Let your head drop, reconnect to your breath. Inhale, flat back, lengthen out. Step back to down dog or Adha Vinyasa, your call. Okay, next we're going to try a bind. So step your right foot for warrior 2. Inhale, come up, warrior 2. And then we're going to go to modified side angle. Put your right hand down onto the inside of your foot. Take your left arm up. So this is not a very classic yoga pose. This is like kind of a flow thing to do, but just so that you know how to do it, I want you to be able to see this. And we use this bind later in other poses, more classic poses. So first, the left arm rolls internally. Then bend your left elbow and slide your hand behind your back. Even though that arm is internally rotated, still roll the shoulder head back on your left arm like an external action. And then just lengthen out your spine like when you do side angle. Same kind of thing. Not too fancy. Okay. Now, without losing any of that length, without rounding, see if you can bring your right hand to touch the back of your right leg. Yeah, not even the full thing. You forget about the full thing, just the hand on the leg. And see if you can keep all your length holding your arms in that position. Very awkward how I'm demonstrating this. Then open up your arms again. Lift from your belly and come back up into warrior 2. And then circle your hands to the mat. Step back to down dog. Or you can Adha Vinyasa if you like. Okay, cool. From down dog, step your left foot for warrior 2. Come up. Then put your hand down onto the inside of your foot on your block. Take your right arm up. All right, cool. Then from here, internally rotate that right arm. Wrap it behind your back. Once you get that hand in that position, roll your shoulder head back like an external action. Good. Hold the length long to the line of your back ankle. Then maybe, if you can, if your shoulder permits, see if you can take that left arm and just bring your hand to the back of your leg. And maybe even point the fingers towards each other like they're going to touch. See if you can hold your length though as you do that without rounding. Good, then open your arms back up. Very nice. Warrior 2, come back up, inhale. Vinyasa, circle your hands to the mat. Step back or just go straight back to down dog. All right, from down dog, look between your hands and hop to seated, however you can. Then lie down onto your back. Bring your heels close to your buttock, feet hip distance apart. Lift your hips up and interlock your hands behind your back. Roll up onto the tops of your shoulders. If you have tight shoulders, you grab a hold of the sides of your sticky mat instead of interlocking the hands. It'll help to open the chest more. Then separate your hands and lower your hips back down. Take a breath. Good, go back up. Lift your hips, roll onto those top shoulders. Okay, now let's practice that preparation for Urdhva again. Lower your hips back down. Position your hands for Urdhva right under your shoulders with your index fingers pointing towards your hips. And then turn your elbows in towards each other. Let the inner arm bones drop down into the socket so you feel space across your collarbones. And as you stretch down even into your hands, lift just your hips up. And then practice reaching into your hands as you turn the elbows back in. Good, then lower your hips back down. Take a breath. One more time. Open up those hands, turn the elbows in, and lift your hips up. Good, lower your hips back down. Before the end of the challenge, we're gonna go into this full thing, but I just wanna make sure that you're totally ready before we try going up into that. It's kind of an intense pose. All right, hug your right knee into your chest. Stretch your left leg out along the floor. And change legs. Hug your left knee in, stretch your right leg out. Then raise your right heel up an inch. Take your arms up to the ceiling. Crunch up to your knee, arms forward. Hold there. Hold those abs in tight, strong in your core. Then slowly change legs, keeping your abs tucked in. Good. Slowly change legs, keep those abs in tight. Tighter. Slowly change legs, that's as tight as I can go. Slowly change legs. Oh, keep them in. Slowly change legs. Now take your right leg straight up. Stay with it, bring your hands up and over to the outside of that ankle. Crunch up. Change sides. Oh, stay crunched up. You have to talk like this when it's getting really hard so that it can relate to you. Then bring both legs up and lower your head down. You're not done yet though, keep your legs up. Put your hands behind your head. Now lift your butt up off the mat. Get it up. And then lift up to your knees, crunch up, and hold there for 5, 4. Why isn't your butt very high? Come on, lift your butt. 3, 2, now crunch up 1 more inch with your chest to your knees. And lower your buns and your head. Keep your legs up. Okay, very last part. Here we go, hips up. And crunch up. And hold for 5, 4, come on, crunch up 1 more inch. 3, 2, come on, get up. And release, oh my gosh. Set your feet down. Just relax now. Open up your right elbow out to the side. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Then shift your hips over to the right a little and let your knees fall over to the left. Excuse me. Bring your knees and your hips back to center. Change the cross of your legs. Open up your left arm out to the side. And take the hips over to the left a little as you let your knees fall over to the right. Then bring your knees and your hips back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. And take happy baby. Reach down to the insides of your knees, grab a hold of the outsides of your feet. Okay, then hug your knees in, roll yourself up to seated, and sit for Upavista Konasana. Sit with your legs wide apart, kind of like at a 90-degree angle, maybe a little bit more, but no more than 100 degrees. Then as you sit up tall, twist to your right. Put your left hand in the middle of your legs, right hand behind you. Yeah, just the upright one. Okay, now as you're in this position, you might feel that the tension in your inner upper thighs, groins, hips wants to pull your thighs up and into you. Instead, let the thighs start to drop down and away from you. And then grow tall through your ribs. Good, then twist to your left. Same thing, just let the thigh bones drop down and away as you grow tall through your spine. Then come back to center and take Baddha Konasana now. Join the soles of the feet together, knees wide apart. Same trip here, lift up through all four sides of your ribs. Let the thighs drop down and away, but especially stretch from your groins towards your inner knees, and like you're trying to push out through the side walls, through your inner knees, without letting your buns tuck under. Still stay tall up over your sit bones. Okay, then let's see how much you could fold forward in this position. So put your hands in front of you, work a flat back there maybe. Maybe you could walk your hands further forward, let your navel draw in, and go for phase 3. So 1, 2, or 3 is all fine with me. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. You can go in any one of those phases and just work on your flexibility. You don't need to be in phase 3 to be opening up your body. Inhale, come back up. All right, then lie down onto your back. And give yourself a last little hug of knees. Then stretch your legs out for corpse. So let the body drop into the mat now. No more effort, no more doing. Just let go and receive. Then gently bend your knees and roll over to your right side. Press yourself up to seated and sit up tall with your palms together. Take a moment to notice how good you feel after your practice today. Thank you. Namaste. All right. Thanks for watching today. Man, you're so close to finishing the challenge. I hope that you'll stick with it all the way till the end. Leave a comment below on the video. Hit the like button. Let me know what you thought of today's video. And also, I have a retreat coming up in Bali, which if you've ever inquired about a retreat and you emailed, this is who you were talking to. This is Stacy. She does all the coordinating for the retreats, and she does a really good job on it. And sometimes when people come on retreats, they'll be like, wow, you guys are like just like you are on the videos. Like, I thought you'd be, and that's like, you think maybe like someone has like a TV persona or something, or like, no, I'm just always a kook like this. Is just how I behave all the time. And Stacy always has a beautiful practice like this. And yeah, so anyways, This TMI for you today. Okay, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.